Hello and welcome back to another episode of I Hate Golf, It's Awesome. My name is Caleb. He is Mark. Coming to you as always from Olde English Trail Golf Club in Florence, South Carolina. We've got a cold and kind of wet Monday already with more rain on the way. So we've got some time to sit down and talk. How's it going?
It's going okay. I was just like, okay, we've done too many of these now. I don't know what to talk about.
I know. It's like we've run out of things. No, there's plenty of things to talk about. But yeah, we're getting towards the end of October here in the last week. It's hard to believe that November and winter is kind of right around the corner. It's already felt like winter for the past week or two. Kind of had a not cold, but it seems like it's going to be a early, hopefully more mild winter this year. So
yeah, it's been actually, pretty good golf weather.
Yeah.
Starts out maybe high 40s, low 50s, and then 65 to 75. It's like pretty nice stuff.
Yeah. I tend to think about things more of how's it going to feel at 6 o'clock in the pitch black when I'm out on a mower,
and nobody else cares.
Yeah, no one else cares about that. That's totally fine. Yeah, it's been nice in the day. You know, we've had some good wind, hasn't been too hot. I think we've only hit the 80s once. So yeah, it's been actually really good weather.
And this is why you find out that basket at the back of the cart, why they call it a sweater basket, because everyone forgets their sweaters at the end of the day, and you end up with them.
Yeah, we've added a full closet worth already, but no, things are going well here. Yeah, just kind of starting to, if you've been out of the course lately, you've probably seen me on the tractor a little bit more, kind of doing some of the stuff that we don't have a ton of time to do in the middle of summer when we're just trying to keep up with, mowing grass, clearing out some areas around the course and stuff like that, starting to get kind of into the winter projects a little bit. And yeah, excited to see what we can get done this winter. We got a lot done last winter as far as clearing, and I think we can get a lot more done this winter too. So
yeah, maybe they'll be able to see between 2 and 3. A lot of people don't realize that was the old train track path through there that
right.
You got it cleared off of 3 now. You can almost see through there.
Yeah. It basically runs from the creek through 2, 3. It actually runs right through 9 Green and 18 is kind of the route that it would take.
And hopefully they never decide, you know what, we're going to put that train back in.
We're going to have a couple greens to move if they ever decide to come back and do that. But it's been almost 30 years. I don't think they're coming back anytime soon. So yeah, you can still see what I assume are the original railroad ties that were down. If you kind of look closely, they're under a couple of feet of pine straw and leaves, but it's still some original stuff out there. So yeah, just kind of starting on some of those projects, finishing up. We're not completely out of growing, but it's slowed down quite a bit with the overnight temperatures in the 40s and stuff like that. So yeah, it's time to kind of start working on those projects a little bit more and see what all we can get done. So hopefully we'll get a lot done this winter.
Yeah, it's just deciding what your list is.
Right.
Actually, it's like, okay, which is most important and which can we actually do right now?
Right. Yeah, it's a long list of all the things that we want to accomplish, but we're in our last week before the time changes, so you kind of forget that the amount of time you have to work gets a lot shorter once that happens. Especially when you start getting into frost delays in the morning, you only have a few hours to be able to get out there and try to get as much done as possible. So
well, it's like you feel bad for golf too, because everyone that tries to sneak out a couple times a week to play 9 after work,
that's coming to an end.
Over.
Yeah, days are going to get a lot shorter here soon. So, but no, I'm excited to kind of head into the winter and work on those projects. But one thing we did just kind of finish up is we did the junior lessons all throughout the month of October. How did all that go?
It went really well. Kids had a good time. Not a real big group, but enough to really get some things done. And yeah, it's like it's always exciting to see kids connect and just enjoy it. Teach it in a way that, hey, priority is number one, enjoy it. Because I've always told parents, one of the things that'll keep kids in golf is if they're having fun and they're enjoying it. It's like, if it's a grind early on, it's like, let's find something else to do. So that's a priority, and I think pretty much all of them did. I would always like to see more kids. I mean, it's like I've been teaching for 40 years, and when you offer a free clinic, you'd kind of like to see more. But again, it's kind of a new thing for us. We haven't been able to do a lot of that. But yeah, we finished October on Saturdays. We're going to skip the first Saturday in November, and then weather permitting, we'll do it on the 8th. We're moving it back to noon just because of, whole weather issues. You don't want to be out here with, 45 degrees.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kids we have are excited about it, and they're enjoying it, and they're learning. They're learning foundational issues that will allow them to improve as much as they want to improve. It's really, and that's my goal with juniors, is give them the foundation. Now it's yours. You can get as good as you want to be. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's been good to see the kids out there on there. I know it's something you enjoy doing, but haven't been able to have a ton of time to do. It's funny. Danny and I were talking the other night, and she asked me. She said, "So, Maisie's just over a year old now." She was asking, "So when can Maisie start playing golf?" I said, "Well, it's probably going to be a while. We'll get her the Fisher Price golf club set at some point and stuff." But I know you do. For this last session, it was for kids 8 and up. But when can really? Because I told her around probably 7, 8 is when you can actually start. But I mean, she's going to be around here a bunch and stuff once she can start. She's not quite walking yet, but she's trying to take steps. And as soon as she can, hold a plastic club enough, she's going to be swinging it around and probably hitting me and the dog and the cats and everything. So, yeah.
But I always say it's well supervised. At 5 years old, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't start that young in our group because it takes too much attention for 1 or 2 kids, and that's not fair to the rest of them. But yeah, if your son or daughter wants to do it because dad does it or mom does it or grandma or grandpa, sure, get them a little cut down golf club and let them hang out and just swing it.
Yeah.
Don't, from day one, if there's one thing I've taught, don't over teach. It creates frustration, confusion, and it takes the joy out of it. Just one thing. Just pick one thing and say, okay, do this, and let them keep trying that. Don't worry about results. Just, be more concerned, are they enjoying it and having fun? That's the true battle. It's like I was explaining to a dad the other day that one of the things that keeps kids involved, it's just like Little League Baseball or the other programs. A lot of kids are involved because their buddy does it. So if there's 2 or 3 buddies that do it together, that helps as well to keep kids involved. But golf is kind of can be an isolated game, and you can do it by yourself, and a lot of it is by yourself. But it's important to have some friends doing it too.
Yeah, it's different than baseball, basketball, where it is, more of a team activity, and, just golf teams in high school and stuff like that. But you're right, it is much more isolated, and kind of learning to play, by yourself and be able to kind of overcome those obstacles, I think is I've always really enjoyed that aspect of it, but I like playing alone, so that maybe I'm just the weird one. I don't know. But no.
But yeah, and that's I always have parents. So how much are private lessons? And I always try to coach them into the group, because most of the time it's free or really inexpensive, instead of trying to, get a 9-year-old started that, 3 months from now it's like, well, they've taken lessons in every sport and they haven't stuck with one yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have fun in that environment and connect more. And then down the road, if private lessons fit, then sure, not a problem.
Yeah. I guess one thing that I don't know if we've ever talked about it on here, It's weird to think that I think this is episode 46 or 47, but we've been doing this podcast for a long time. We just haven't put a lot out every year. We've been doing this since, before the big podcast boom after COVID and everything, when it seems like everyone started doing a podcast. So I guess we were early. We just weren't consistent, which again is, I've reiterated, that's mostly my fault. But I guess one thing we probably haven't talked about a lot on here is kind of how you started with junior golf. Why, where, all that stuff, kind of just a brief backstory into how you got started teaching junior golf.
Well, I was, obviously had been a golf pro. I played, and I'd moved back to Ohio from Florida and took a more active role in my local church, which I had grown up in. And it's like, okay, what can I do? I'm good at golf, and I'm good at teaching golf. So I said, okay. I put it out there. It's like, any kids interested in starting a group? And I think the first group was 6 or 7 kids. And we went out to the local public golf course where I'd been teaching before and played a lot of golf, so I knew everyone, so it wasn't an issue. And in fact, I think eventually they saw it as like, oh, wow, kids are coming out here and dads are coming out and playing golf now. So they saw the positive of that. And it was just I've always taught that golf is a very connecting sport. Unlike any other sport, you're actually there with each other. Whereas coaching other sports, you're on the sidelines. In golf, you're actually out there. So it's completely different level of interaction. And I saw that right away. So did it with those kids. And then someone said, the next town over, it's like, hey, would you be interested in bringing a program over here? So, yeah, so they posted it on their golf course. I think it was the Salina Elks, which was like 30 miles from my hometown, maybe. Had played golf a few times there and knew a couple of people. I said, sure, go ahead. So we show up the first day and there's 45 kids. And there's 2 of us. So we learned in a hurry how to deal with that. And it even helped my teaching philosophy. I pair kids up. So one's swinging and one's always observing, because there's multiple ways to learn. Observation is a great way to learn instead of just standing there and swinging the club all the time. Watching someone else do it right or wrong is beneficial. So that's how we developed that. And from there, it just kind of, there's a lot of really amazing stories I'm not sure I should go into or we have time to, but along the way that really developed the program. And ended up in doing a lot of stuff in the Detroit area through Rod, who great friend and was very active, great leadership, and then it turned into we started doing workshops of people flying into Columbus and other areas, and when we were in South Florida, and I'd spend 4 or 5 days with them teaching them how to run the program, because my vision for the program was always to give it away. I didn't want to bring a bunch of people to us. I've always said there's more kids out there than anybody can work with. So we would teach guys how to do it, and then they'd go back to their communities and they'd start the program. So that's what happened in the program, and we did it for a long time. And then it just got to the point where, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. It just got to be so much, it was really hard to fund, because even though we had great golf instruction and great programs, we were terrible fundraisers. We were just really, even though there were a lot of people that helped us, just very generous people that kept it going. But it was just, so it was like kind of, I started backing it. Then we bought a golf course and got consumed with that. I would still run the program with kids wherever I was at, but and this was all before the access of the internet and being able to text someone and be in touch constantly. It was all before that. So it was a real challenge. You had to make phone calls and write letters and do that stuff. But people we started programs in some of the biggest churches in the country. then they could still be running. I don't know. I'm sure the people that were doing them are still doing it. Mm-hmm. We always encouraged it to be a part of the local church, so there was a base for everyone, so they wouldn't get lost. But yeah, that was, and then, I think one of the things I haven't shared was we transitioned names several times. It started out as Christian Golfers Association, and it's like I would show up and everyone would think, oh, we're going to play golf, right? We're a group. No, that's not what we're doing. Oh, okay, well, that's neat too. And then within 2 or 3 years, as word got out, there were other people doing Christian Golf Association. So it's like, now it's getting confusing. Yeah. So we switched over, and then finally, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I switched it over to the program to Coach14Me, which looks like Coach14Me. Yeah. So people have to struggle through that. But that was really, I don't know if I've ever shared this, because there were times when I was frustrated. It's like all that we accomplished and all that we'd done, it's like, where did it go? And even though we were doing a great job with golf courses and getting a lot done, still running the program, it was like I really felt like God put on my heart, that's okay. Is one kid worth it? Yeah. Okay, I'm fine with that. And that's where Coach14Me came from. As long as you're committed to doing something, the number doesn't matter.
Right.
So that was the transition. And it's like, that was kind of him telling me, it's like, no, you're okay. You're fine. You did what you did, and that was good for that time. And now it's like, wherever you're at, just spend some time with some kids, and you have the same impact. And now what's really kind of neat is we're in the process of relaunching that and going back to now, for the first time ever, it's like everyone involved would always say, you have to have a golf course. You have to, because a lot of golf courses hosted us. And I've even said that we were invited into golf courses that people would, top 100 golf courses, because of our credibility and the commitment we had made, and they'd seen our work. So it was a very respected program, very long running program too. So it was always everyone, we need a golf course. We need a golf course. And I'm like, yeah, I know what that means. That's a lot of work. So it was never really, okay, let's go after a golf course. Even though we had a couple of opportunities, they just didn't work out. And then lo and behold, we ended up here after coming from, you're still working down there with the 2 golf courses. I was over managing Spessard Holland at a golf course, and I've shared this before with nothing but old people. And I said, okay, I'm going to start a kids program. And they're like, oh, why? and what happened is I ran the program. It was 4 or 5 kids, then 2 kids, and then 6 kids. And then all of a sudden, a couple of different groups connected with us. One of them was a homeschool group. And 5 or 6 weeks later, we had 40, 45 kids that we had to start breaking it up, and I had to get someone in to help. So that was kind of neat. And it told me, it's like, okay, it's like whether it was 30 years ago or today, kids are kids. They just want to connect with something, and something positive you can offer. And that's what parents are looking for as well. In fact, I call our junior program a family program, because I want mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, whoever can be around golf, to be involved with them. Not just to have us teaching them and try to get them to do it, but do it so it's a family activity. To me, that's the key. That's what keeps it going. So now, here we are. We have a golf course. And I thought, okay, we're going to do this. Well, we're 4 years later, and it's been so much work, so much effort to create stability here. Again, I've had some kids programs, a little bit here and a little bit there, but we're finally stable enough, and we've taken the golf course as far as we need to go to start it. And even though we want to go a lot further, it was a lot of work to get to here. So now I'm feeling like, okay, now there's time. We can start redoing this. We can start reaching out. Okay, let's get some kids involved. Homeschool groups, churches, civic groups, whoever it is. we want to be the home base where you can bring kids out to the golf course, and we can give them a professionally run program with biblical based character that they can develop and become the person that everybody wants them to be. So that's what I'm looking at now. It's like, and I want to focus a lot of attention there, and just starting to put all the material together again and working on it. And I know that was a really long answer to a short question, but that's where it went. So that's kind of the full circle of the story and where it's at now. So actually, I'm pretty excited about it, because now I was a much younger guy when I started that, and at one point we bought a motorhome and traveled from Ohio to Florida to California. And we've done the program in all those places. I was thinking of all the states the other day that we've been in those programs. We sent a team to Cape Town, South Africa. I flew to Mexico City. It was a lot of fun. And what's really neat is I know there were a lot of kids' lives were impacted, and I'm sure they're still playing golf, and not all of them are, but a lot of them are, and they all learn to be really positive about their own life. And getting to know their creator. And that's just, I don't have to know who that is and what happened, but you know what? We did our job, and that's what I'm fine with. And that's what we want to start again, because there's a lot of really, really good people that want to do something. They just don't know how to do it or where to start or what to do. And I want us to be the one to help support that. It's like, hey, we'll help you do that. And you know what? We have a golf course, so we don't have to charge you to use the driving range.
Right.
When you bring your kids out for my program, I'm not going to charge you to do that. We just want to be a part of that and make it happen. So that's kind of the neat thing now. It's like, okay, after all these years, we have a golf course.
Yeah.
So that's always been one of my motives, and it's always been there, whether it's been actively present or not. It's always been there in hopes that, hey, we can get back to that. And would love to restart a lot of that stuff again, especially, these later in life, passing this stuff on. Because one is like, what's really neat is probably the most joy out of everything is seeing those kids for the first time take a swing and hit a golf ball in the air. They're amazed. How did I do that? And it's a lot of fun, and they love it. And it's a great sport to be involved with. Like I said, it's a very interactive, personal activity, which we are becoming less and less personal, interactive with everything we do in our culture now. So it comes back to that even more than it did 30 years ago when we started. It wasn't like that. Now it's like everybody's on their phone. I mean, I look in the golf carts and everybody's stopping at between nines and they're all looking at their phones. It's like, guys, what are you doing? So it's kind of maybe trying to overcome some of that and get back to personal connections, which is now a goal in running the program. So I'll cut it off at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, something that I've always really liked about the program is that, I can remember helping you with it, and I don't know if I was actually helping or just tagging along, but it's like I remember doing it in gyms and fields, and it's like it didn't have to be at a golf course.
Right.
But being able to do it at a golf course does bring kind of a level to it that, maybe it doesn't make it better, maybe it's no different, but it does open the doors where you can, I heard, I think I was washing carts or pulling out carts or something when you finished up with them on Saturday, and you were just kind of, as they were coming in to get their snack, just kind of telling them things about this is how you act at a golf course, not in a strict way,
right,
but in a way that they can now go to a golf course,
right,
whether it's here or any other, and be a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter if you're a kid or if you're going to a golf course for the first time when you're 30 or 45. It's like golf has a kind of stigma or whatever you want to call it, and some people just don't care. They just walk in however they want to a Walmart or a golf course, and it doesn't matter. But I think a lot of people do kind of have a level of
what should I be
fear
doing?
or whatever.
Right.
It's like how do I act? I don't want
Right.
to look silly or something like
Right.
that. So
Right.
being able to have them here at a golf course, you are able to teach them that side of it too, not just, here's how to swing, but here's
Right.
how to swing and here's how to act as
Right.
well.
And that's one of the things I stress with the kids. You don't want to stand out, especially as a junior golfer, because golf courses are watching you. So
Right.
you want to understand, in fact, I teach them etiquette is simply knowing what's expected of you and doing it. It's real simple. And it's not like it's a burden. It's just like, oh no, this is how it works. And it's like, I want to fit into that so I can be here and participate. So yeah, that's one of the things because again, I came from the wrong side of the tracks, and it was like, when I started, I was like the thumb. It was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? How do I do it? And I was actually pretty good at observing. It's like I would watch the other guys my age and see what they did, and I could tell, oh, what he's doing I don't want to do, and I want to watch him because he's the one doing it right.
Right.
And you pick it up right away. And then it's all of a sudden, golf courses like, yeah, you're fine being here. I mean, we have some junior golfers coming out. It's like they're young ladies and gentlemen, and it's awesome to have them here. You don't have to be worried about anything because they understand. It's like, okay, this is how I respect the property, other golfers, and the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, one thing that we're kind of striving to do here, we've talked a lot about, kind of the fun aspect of golf, and, you talking about relaunching this and getting kind of having more time to do this is, I think for us it's kind of important to not be a golf course that also has a junior golf program, but to make the the family golf program a key aspect of the golf course. I can't say exactly how other golf courses work, but it seems like from a distance, it's like, it's kind of separate. It's like there's time for the real golf, and then we let the kids out and the families out. And it's like, no, we want this to kind of always be a place that, families can come out and play. And, it's like, I don't think we're too strict about our rules or anything like that, but we expect no matter who you are to follow some level of pace of play, stuff like that. And like knowing that, there's going to be times on the course where it's going to be busier and you have to keep up pace a little bit. And then there's times that you can come out in the late afternoon and, have more time to hit a couple extra shots and stuff like that. But making, this a place where it's, key to kind of how we are going forward, not just, oh, we also have a junior golf program. It's like, I kind of think of it with the podcast too. It's like, this is kind of a key part of, who we are here in doing this. It's not just, oh, and we also do a podcast. It's like, this is kind of how we communicate with people, and stuff. And it's like, we don't send out long newsletters or anything like that. And it's like, to me, it's easier to just kind of get on here and be able to talk about what's going on and stuff like that. So,
well, and I had someone this weekend or last weekend, I was talking to them, and they said, so what I really like about it is it's a very comfortable, laid back atmosphere. And that's exactly what I know I try to create. It's like, yeah, there's certain rules. It's like, no, there's rules you just don't break. And it's like, and don't be offended when we say, hey, here's the rule. Please don't do that. And some people do, and there's nothing we can do that except you're in the wrong place, and that's okay. But no, we're pretty laid back, and that's probably from my career of working with kids, you have to be pretty laid back because you get all kinds of personalities in 9-year-olds. So, but no, it's kind of, it's what I do. It's what I've always done. In fact, I was joking with last year, who was I talking to on the phone? One of my old friends. I said, I always said, this is how long I've been teaching, but it's like, that's not true. When I was 10, 11, 12 with that one golf club in the schoolyard, I was showing the other kids how to do it too, because I'd been doing it longer. None of us could afford to go to the golf course, so that was our golf course. So I was helping them when I was probably 12 years old. Yeah. So it's just always been a part of what I've done, and I enjoy it. Yeah. And sometimes it can be a little frustrating, but no, it's like I said, the goal to me is getting mom and dad involved and be a part of that, because it's a great family activity. And a lot of golf courses don't want that because, it's kind of in the way sometimes. But I don't ever want to be the golf course where that's in the way.
Right.
I really don't.
Right. Yeah, no, I like what you said about, it's true. It's like just thinking about my years playing baseball and stuff, and it's like it is totally different. That it's like, yeah, if you're coaching, whether it's at the high school level or just in a junior program, it's like you can be on the course. You're not, you're not in the dugout. You're not on the sideline. It's like being able to be more involved in it is, golf is unique in that way.
Plus the tone is when you're coaching baseball from the dugout, you do have to scream at the kids because they're out on the field.
Yeah. You don't have to scream on the golf course. You can, but you don't have to. So, but no, that's I'm excited for us to kind of get to do more things like that. Not just because we're going into the winter and stuff like that, but kind of moving forward because, realistically, this is where we spend most of our lives. We spend a lot of time here. So I hope we get to do the things that we enjoy doing. You with the junior program, me with kind of more of the videos and stuff like that. And I like being involved in the junior programs too. And I make you be in most of the videos. So it kind of all works together.
Well, it is. It's funny because I tell people all the time, it's like, yeah, if I'm going to be here 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week, I'm pretty much living here.
Yeah.
So if you're a miserable person, if you're a complaining person, you're not going to be here very long because I don't want that in my life and I have to live with it. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, and everyone, it's like, yeah, you can say this or that, but it's just people that have complaining personalities and just can't enjoy life. It's just, there are other golf courses, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like, no, we're trying to create something different here and be a little different. It's like, enjoy life here at a golf course. Come on, folks. It's like, okay, this is out of place. That's all right. You're still at a golf course.
Yeah, it's easy to lose sight of that. But no, I'm glad we got to sit down and talk today. I think we'll probably wrap things up here unless you had anything you wanted to add.
No, I think I did enough today.
Yeah.
It's like, at least we found something to talk about. I was concerned.
Well, this was easy for me. I asked one question and you just kind of took
shut
off.
up.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening to another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome. We will see you next time.